So recently, it's been brought to my attention Woof from Kero's Zoosadist group was just arrested in Cuba. Some of you guys either don't know or straight up forgot who this guy was. Kiwi Farm's channel recently had a stream talking about the matter, but didn't wish to go into it into massive detail.
Of who Woof is. Very, very ambiguous name. But we're going to clarify who exactly he is real quick. He is by far the most egregious of all the Zoosadists. He was the worst. He was worse than... I don't want to describe in morbid detail what exactly he's done.
And I remember Jim, aka Mr. Mediker, did 2 streams about these guys. I never made it that far deep in, so I looked up the Fursecution stream at about 1 hour and 28 minutes.
Muzzle? To start, I'd fully pull back his sheath and lick his fully exposed knot, to then tie up with a cord and keep it hard for as long as I want. Then I'd play with his balls and tail hole. I'd restrain him and put a metal ring with duct tape in his mouth to make him lick my cock, whether he likes it or not. I could come in his mouth or eyes, play soft or hard with his balls, and this guy is fucking awful. I don't even know how I'd react to that. If I had somebody over at my place and I went out to the car to do something or run an errand and I came back and they were brutalizing my dog, I'd kill him. I would fucking murder the guy. I would throw him. I'd fucking kill him. Do you think his friend knows what went on? You think his friend knows that this guy is like stalking his pet? He probably has no idea. Probably has no fucking clue that this piece of shit does this and wants to take it further. That he's going to torture this guy's puppy when he's not paying attention. He's a fucking sociopath. You know, all smiles and cordial when somebody's there in the room with him. But the moment the back is turned, you know, the moment he's alone with a victim, he goes and does just horrific fucking things for his own amusement with no remorse. It's just about self-gratification. He doesn't care about anything else.
Just in case you had the same problem I did. So that's the super brief summary on Woof. A brief forward, we will be talking about Furry Midwest and how there is at least 1, maybe 2 possibly confirmed sex offenders who attended the convention, one being Growly the Growler, and the second being Sanji Nightivus. Sanji is one of Kero's friends, don't you know? But I thought since the goal of these videos were to raise awareness and to improve the safety in the fandom, specifically for children, if you're a mom and dad and considering letting your kids to maybe head out to a furry convention alone, I would strongly discourage that. Let's get back to things. We'll have more on that at the end of the video. One word for Kero the Wolf fans. Woof. So, there's a video from PK Russell called More False Accusations in the Furry Fandom. I'm going to borrow 2 things really quick. The first, Mr. Russell makes a remark that 95% of furries are alright, and 5 being, well, you've been watching the Kero the Wolf videos. The part of the fandom that proves we literally turn away from God's light a little bit more every day. Things have been so fucked up lately, I'm not even sure trolls even can say that in a memeing sense anymore. I'd personally put the fandom's okay side at about 80, with the not being 20%. And that's based on the same thing Russell did. It's some imaginary number that I pulled right out of my ass. I believe there are a lot of furries, if I ran into them at a bar, they might be cool to do a shot with. You might be a fun person to shoot the bull over. I'm sure some of you guys will bore me with Orange Man Bad, like say Dog Patch Press over here. I do think a lot of you guys would be cool, but there is something that concerns me, and it's this. Do you see this? Kero the Wolf as of today, that being December 2nd, 2018, still has fans. So I want to show you something.
Please save him. Oh, I will kill myself at post house. Don't do it. Please don't kill Toon Critic.
In the Brony fandom, Toon Critic fans are almost fucking extinct. They're a quaint memory of a forgotten age, because enough people got up and did their job, their responsibility to the fandom. But ultimately most fans made the right call, and the ones who didn't tend to be suffering on some level of impairment. You might think I'm being cruel of having pride in that. Oh no, sir. I revel in it. It completes me. It sustains me. There are people out there who tell you that every day you spend hating someone is taking away from living your life. That is a bunch of sanctimonious nonsense. If it pleases you that I go to bed at night and wake up in the morning to think that this is the only thing that makes me feel alive, it would please me to be your boogeyman. That said, I believe there are far more of you who are reasonable. And even still, there are those of you over there that I and maybe someone else can reach. For example, this is Kero's Patreon. It is now down 47 from 50. That was last night that I checked and bothered to snap a screenshot. That's the most beautiful sight in the world. At least in a world where Kero hasn't been arrested yet. That's what this is about. To brace for such a world. See this?
So, I confronted Kero about this and basically told him, look, I know that these logs are real. If you keep denying that, people are eventually going to find out the truth, and this entire thing is going to start all over. And then, Kero agreed with me and told me that yes, the logs are his. He had those conversations, and he does have an interest in some aspects of zoophilia. He also claims that some of the forwarded messages are being taken out of context, but that's something that you guys are going to have to decide is valid on your own. But back to my main point. Yes, the logs are real.
Conversations he has about fingering dogs' throats and asses. The conversation he had with Snakething about molesting his own dog and possibly hurting it. But no. He drew the line at artwork, guys. You don't.
I want every Kero fan to see this. For anyone listening that needs to know what's going on, that's your 1-2 punch. That should be everything you need to know. I'm going to include a link to this timestamp and stick it in the comments. So if anyone needs a quick refer back, there it is. And yet here we are, that this has become boring. This is a natural in response to Kero's latest tweets. Let's read those off.
I've been well aware of the situation since it happened. Thing is, it's getting old and it's pointless now, you see. 2 whole months of people being childish, and even I'm tired of it.
I'm so fucking sorry that you're tired of the tedium of people who killed animals for sexual gratification, much less any of the child predators that have been brought to light. But seeing as how your hero Kero is basically an arm-flailing buffoon, even without his sickening behavior, I don't see where you get off about talking about being boring. Here's where the same Kero fan doubles down and calls this old, boring, pointless. It's a wonder that people hate furries when taking steps towards child safety, which, if you need an example of furries not holding to a higher standard, Growly the Growler is a convicted sex offender who was allowed into Furry Midwest last weekend because making people aware of this is boring and pointless, according to these people. We'll read off a statement from Growly towards the end of this video, but I feel we missed a step. Kero the Wolf left a mountain of text from his Twitter on what he felt would be his last word on this topic. Would you wonderful people like to hear that now? Because I would like to read it. You want the truth? Then fine, here it is. Yes, the police are investigating me, but only because of hundreds of people who have called in. So they have to look at each claim. I have only talked to the police in person once, and that's why I gave my statement. Besides that, they called me to verify my driver's license. I have not been interrogated. My devices have not been seized. There are no warrants or charges against me. Why? Because I didn't do anything. In the meantime, real police work is being interrupted with phone calls to report a crime that didn't happen. I have tried to be silent on this whole thing. Yes, Kero, we understand you're trying to be silent. We're trying to get you to talk, and we're going to continue to try to get you to talk. I wanted the police investigation to be finished before I made this statement, but the hate has gotten completely out of control. Oh no, Kero, I completely disagree. As one of the last bastions still getting views on getting people to keep an eye on you, I feel very much in control. I also feel my fans are very much in control. I think you're misrepresenting once again. I have asked for patience while the investigation finishes, but in the meantime, I have thousands of death threats sent to me and been harassed every day on every platform. I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten telling me that they want to stab me at midwestfurryfest. That's why I canceled my trip. I'd like to say, Kero, that they probably banned you, but considering that they lit your friend Sanji and Growly the Growler in there, I'd be surprised. My supporters have also been targeted. That's true. I have absolutely targeted Sanji Nightivus. I have absolutely targeted Ashley Zoe Fox. I have absolutely targeted snakething as well as Woof. And I will continue to mention your name side by side with your friends. I've been in this community for years, and I've seen it de-evolve into absolute garbage when someone points a finger. Well, Kero, I'm from the outside of your fandom, and I'm pointing my finger. I am not the first victim of these witch hunts. Names like Toon Critic, Performance Major, Dusky Novel. Let's continuing on. I don't really have anyone that did what you did, since my fandom isn't nearly as fucked up, but continuing on. Other furs, both famous and not, have had angry mobs sent after them completely unjustified. Some furs have been driven to suicide from online bullying. This is not what this is. This is not what this open, fun, welcoming community is supposed to be about. Is this your version of love and tolerate, Kero? Turning on each other, taking sides, backstabbing? What happened? I've never had your back. Don't even. The problem is, the fandom is full of vigilantes. I'm from outside the fandom, thank you very much. I didn't know what this is. Why are people so motivated to post rumors, hate, hypocrisy, because you're full of shit? People are attacking people for fun. Hurt people, Kero. And saying that they're doing it for memes. No, Kero, we're being completely serious. There are memes about you, they are very funny. Not yours, obviously. It may look like good fun from the outside. Or maybe people are trying to appear superior by participating in kicking someone while they're struggling, but it hurts, and it ruins people's lives. Even these words will fall on deaf ears. Oh baby, you better believe they will. Because people already have their mindsets, and won't listen to reason. Kero, gonna ask you for that interview again. And if you think blocking me is gonna get me to go away, you are sorely wrong. If I'm saying something incorrect, by all means, why don't you attempt to take legal action? By all means, I want you to tell me what I have said that is defamation. I want to hear what I have said that is factually incorrect. I invite you to send legal action if I have done something wrong. There are some good people that I have met in the community. I wouldn't trust your opinion, and I love and appreciate all of you. To my fans, thank you for all your support, though. We got that down to about 47 people on Patreon, Kero. 47. Let's get it down to 40 by next time, guys. Come on, you give me a month, I just need 7 more people to fuck off. But there is also a bunch of children who need to grow up. Get fucked, Kero. And a bunch of trolls who are happy to send threats. And hate to an innocent man. Where this has to change. I'll still make YouTube videos. I'll still be me. But my involvement in this community is going to be limited. I have seen what this community is capable of, and it is unacceptable. This is not the community I thought I knew. Let's be completely clear, Kero. As disgusted as you are by all of this, let's say any of this is true, any of this, you wouldn't have made this in regards and defense of anyone else. You're disgusted supposedly on behalf of yourself. You didn't come forward any other time it happened before. So basically, you're just trying to save your own sorry ass. Even if this were true, you sanctimonious lying sack of shit, I'm not going away. Shortly thereafter, he reprivated his Twitter. There are some people who might be worth looking into as getting a bad hand in all of this. Such people include Dishonored Wolf.
Alright, so I'm not gonna bore you with some dramatic fake sigh or overly sentimental bullshit like everyone else on YouTube seems to do, because it seems like every time someone has some kind of drama surrounding them, that's how they immediately start everything off, which just comes off as super fake to me, and I'd like to believe I'm somewhat above doing that. But basically, way back in early July, I had to deal with an absolute assload of drama that ultimately came to a whole lot of nothing. I didn't speak about this topic beforehand for 3 reasons. 1, almost all of it is composed of outright slanderous lies that can literally finally be proven to be lied about by the people making the lie.
As well as damn dog games.
Off with, babe, we need to have a serious talk. To which he replies, what's up, babe? So I forward him the article, and he says, aye, but don't read into it too much, babes. Now, at this point, I am fucking panicking, and I'm starting to see red mist. When he initially said this, there was like a good minute before he sent the next text. My heart just initially sank. I thought, oh god, this is actually true. This can't be fucking happening. And then he says, we'll have a chat about it later if you want. Don't worry, it's not what it seems. Though please don't tell Tiger. I want to know now, because I am so fucking like frightened. I'm angry at the same time. It was back from when I was like 15, 16. They were all the same. It's not something I'm proud of, hun. As you can guess, I got off with an adult warning in the end, as I was way under 18 when it all hit the fan. So immediately, straight away, the article is telling a lie. To which I'm saying, kids, Skyware. Kids. Like, I can't even fucking remember what was going through my head at this point. Skyware basically says it wasn't bloody kids, yo.
These are sincere, heartfelt, if not impassionate videos. And the convictions of these people, I can understand Kero maybe stumbling in a bit. But you have done nothing but lie and backslide, and you, sir, are not a victim. You are a man who so richly suffered as a result of his own fucking actions, and wallowed in a fate he so richly fucking deserves. I think this is a good time to play off some more of Woof's chats with snakething. Both of these fine people are Kero the Wolf's friends.
This is again continued with Woof and snakething. Morning nymph. And they share a picture of some sort. Those pics are actually my own stuff from last weekend. Oh, damn, you're one hell of a lucky bastard. Lol, she has a tight pussy. Has or had giggles. She was a pit bull that I found last Friday, and was a virgin also. I removed her tits, and inserted some in ass, others in pussy, then butt-fucked ass to pussy. Made her eat one or two of her tits. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he misspelled this, but no, he means a bat. There was a video of a puppy. Okay, there's a video of an animal being assaulted with a baseball bat. He bat fucked her, is what he means. Her throat and ass and pussy. Snakething. Oh, should have gotten a male doggo to rape her too. Always wanted to see some dog on dog rougher-esque stuff before. Human intervention too, with that in mind. Oh damn, I want to see that. Had, lol. And they share another video. Wow, I like that. Lol, also chopped off her tail and used it to fuck her pussy.
That, ladies and gentlemen, there is sitting in a Cuban jail cell. Here's a news article that I've managed to find. Zoosadist furry Ruben Woofin. Woof. Pernes arrested. Cuban animal advocate group reports. Tuesday, 27th. November 2018, 23:57. Another arrest has been made on a member of the animal abuse ring brought to light in September. According to Cubanas Defense de los Animales, I apologize for my Spanish, or Cubans in Defense of Animals, Ruben Marrero Pernes, using the fandom pseudonym Woof and Warg, among others, was arrested on November 24th after details of his involvement in the group that has been shared on social media. Pernes has identified from an image in the abuse ring's chat logs, which he posted of himself holding a puppy that he adopted from CEDA. The puppy was killed within days of the adoption, and the pictures of its abuse were also in the chat logs. When CEDA announced news of Pernes' arrest via Facebook, they stated that 2 living dogs were rescued from his residence. As Cuba currently lacks animal welfare laws, it's not clear for what specific crimes Pernes was arrested, possibly for the distribution of pornography. Here's a more in-depth article, Zoodonism in Cuba, No Law to Punish. It is from the HavanaCubaTimes.org. Links for both of these will naturally be down below. Photos from the CEDA, the Cuban in Defense of Animals. Havana Times, as you've probably heard, a zoosadism case has gone viral on social media. I found out from a post published in Cuba against the animal abuse group, which was created to report degrading acts that humans carry out on animals. I recommend you sign up to this group to keep up to date with what is going on in this country in this respect. It turns out Ruben, a former employee of Cuban a former employee of Cuban Neuroscience Center, was torturing, raping, and killing dogs. Not only that, he was also filming or taking photos of his sadist acts and then sharing them on underground networks of zoophiles called beast forums. He took a number of aliases: Woof, Warg, Schwartz, Wolves. I can't pronounce these other two names. According to the post giving the magnitude of Moreau's exposure and orientation, some members of the Zoosadism network began to leak information onto other sites. Many people were struck by the unpleasant content of his publications and took it upon themselves to track him down. A group of 50 activists from all over the world worked for a month until they were able to identify and compile evidence against him. The post explains the available material was passed on to the competent authorities in Cuba over a month ago, but this individual continues to walk free on Havana's streets. Publishing this news would help everyone to recognize him and prevent any more animal suffering. This 29-year-old man has adopted a puppy from the CEDA. This is a bit overlap here, so I'm going to try and skip ahead here. He is a dangerous guy who came across calm, kind, then is capable of doing barbaric things to the being he wants to save. A year or so ago, some young man burned a puppy alive, and there's no way I'm going to get that name right, then recorded themselves laughing, enjoying the moment when the small animal was engulfed in flames. Animal protection organizations immediately took to the streets and collected signatures so they wouldn't go unpunished. Letters were sent to various state bodies and institutions, etc. The pyromaniacs were even arrested, and they didn't receive punishment that they deserved. What else could you expect if there isn't a law that condemns animal cruelty here in Cuba? It has been a while since then, and this new case only confirms that we will need to continue demanding this Animal Protection Act. Ruben Pernes has been arrested now, and his dog, a male German Shepherd and a female Rottweiler, which he used to rape, has been seized by the CEDA and will be responsible for overseeing and making sure that they receive veteran care and will look after them until they are fit to be given up for adoption, although they will be monitored for a long time. According to the comments published on the page, they have spoken about this subject. They took these dogs to Zoosadist that picks up stray dogs first. I imagine they must have had to move pretty quickly, as they could have been condemned to die after being administered strychnine if nobody rescues them within 72 hours. All of this makes me think about several things. One, just how important the internet is. Even with the precious internet connections that we have in Cuba, it's still a source of information and mechanisms for social mobilization. It's understanding that the government is afraid of it. Regarding of the flaws we humans give it, the internet is another way that we can alert others about abuse. Kidnapping, injustice, abuse. Raise awareness about these complaints. Upholding collaborating efforts between Cubans both on and off the island. Ultimately, it prepares us for what we can organize ourselves and come together in real life. In other things that grab my attention is the value of focusing on a common objective. Animal protection organizations deserve all of our respect. They are able to organize themselves and call on activists, rescue teams, and protectors to come together to make a concrete statement about the subject and the mutual support for each other, without even meaning to sometimes. There isn't only one organization. There are many, and there are independent and animal protectors who aren't affiliated to any organization as such, but work on their own. There isn't a single line of thought. On the contrary, the important thing here is that they come together for the same cause, to protect animals. So when we see a result like this, it isn't a magical act. It is the result of hard work and combining forces, energy, dedication, and a love for a single objective. It's amazing how people react and act. It gives us hope in the human race. There's no doubt about it. It's a shame that some people tarnish this by inciting violence, wanting death, or misinterpreting words. Of course, you'll say that everyone is free to say whatever they want. And lastly, this case has allowed us to verify the gap that exists between official media and everyday life. The Cuban Neuroscience Center immediately announced on its Facebook page that Ruben Pernes is no longer an employee of the Scientific Center. He was removed there once his illicit and disgusting behavior were made known and confirmed. It explained, this appalling behavior is incompatible with this center, the competent bodies that have been formed so that further actions can be taken. However, up until now, no official media platform has published the news. It seems absolutely ridiculous that a country that says it wants to be just as supportive, etc., but keeps its citizens removed from cases like this one. Personally speaking, this whole thing has really disturbed me. I want this individual to pay for what he has done, and I think, what charges did they arrest him with? What punishment is waiting for him? Is he crazy, or does he have no shame? Many people would like answers to these questions. If there isn't a law in Cuba that condemns abusers, he won't be tried as such. So it has all become very confusing. Will they condemn him for creating and sharing pornography? How much time will he have to serve for this? Is it enough? And what about the living beings he tortured and murdered? If it doesn't appear in the law, can harming animals become an aggravated circumstance? A friend told me that other options would be dangerousness laws, in which a person is tried for a crime that they haven't yet committed, but is likely to commit. Many people who think differently to the party's politics have languished in prisons because of this law, and I don't believe it's fair. If Marrero Pernez is taken to court for dangerousness, would this law now be used properly? Would it be ethical for me to accept that the state is using a law that I believe should be repealed? There are many concerns, and maybe someone can come up with another solution that I haven't already thought of. However, everything is pointing to the fact that the state must adopt a stronger stance that regulates these harmful acts against animals, so whoever causes them harm, whoever they may be, can be legally charged and justice served. It's up to us to continue to demand an Animal Protection Act from the state. What kind of things can Woof or Robin Marrero Pernez look forward to? I found this video from a Canadian who flew a drone in Cuba and was detained for 13 days. Link down below in the description. I'm going to play it now so that we can have a feel for what sort of days lay ahead for Mr. Rubin.
I was walked to my cell. I was in a lonely cell. I was by myself. I walked by and I could notice that there was about 20 cells on either, 10 cells, 10 cells. I didn't know how many people were in there. It was late. Everybody was asleep. And I was put into a room with 2 bed sheets. I had a pillow, a pillowcase, a cot, and half a bar of soap. Yeah, that's it. Half a bar of soap. Had my flip-flops. I had these pants that I was wearing, that I'm still wearing. 1 pair of shorts, 1 pair of underwear, and this t-shirt. And I was left. The door was closed. The guards didn't speak any English at all. And I didn't even know what I was there for. That night was a very hard night to sleep. I didn't know where I was. I didn't even know what the cell looked like because it was pitch dark. And I woke up in the morning and the nightmare continued.
The name of the channel is A Nerd's World.
Is there anything that we can do? And I said, please, can you let me see sunlight? I've been locked in a room 24 hours a day with nothing. No magazine, no book, no nothing. Just 24 hours a day of nothing. Nothing. No lights, no nothing. She asked the military, she said, can you please get some time like there's a sunroom that's basically a cage by every corner that the people who are not under investigation can go visit for an hour every day? He said, absolutely not. No.
I'm happy to see the man behind this channel get home safely to his family.
Old, like really old bread, white rice. Every now and then there would be like a chicken nugget or a small piece of chicken. You'd get water, which was not like, obviously it's not bottled water. We were never given a cup. So you drink the water like this. But I noticed other people had water bottles. It's funny, I kept the water bottle as a souvenir. When I was doing my medical check one day, I saw this in the corner of the room, and it had water with cigarette butts in it. And I asked the doctor if I could have it. I hate cigarettes. I've never touched a cigarette to my mouth in my life. And just the thought of cigarettes. So I took it and I washed it out, and it took me a good hour of staring at it to decide that I have to use this to survive. And this is the actual water bottle. I'm actually going to put it on my wall of souvenirs. This is the water bottle that kept me hydrated for 13 days in jail. I carried it with me from every corner of the room.
In Reuben, aka Wolf's case, I look forward to the roaches and ants and rats chewing on him in a dark, lightless jail cell with armed military personnel to make sure that he never manages to escape.
The cockroaches on your food, and this is not just like a movie, this is real life. You know, no sunlight, frogs, big frogs in my room that I actually liked because they helped eat some of the mosquitoes that were eating me all day and all night. You know, ants. I stepped on a colony of fire ants that just attacked my legs. I have marks all over.
I feel justified, safe, secure in knowing I'm at a loss, knowing that this couldn't happen to a better guy. So I think we're at the end of the video. Both Growly the Growler and Sanji Nightavis are allegedly sighted at Furry Midwest. Here is an image of someone who allegedly fits Sanji Nightavis's profile, sitting at a panel. Sanji does own at least, or worked for, Inked Fur. I keep hearing confirmation that Furry Midwest lit this man, as well as Growly the Growler, a convicted furry with a sex offense, and I have confirmed with Growly that this statement he has made from 1 year ago. I'm going to read it now. After being trolled on Fur Affinity by someone who knew what I did back in 2001 and subsequently being banned by FA's administration, I have decided to describe what happened to me and how to explain the poor decisions I made back then. In 2000, I was talking to someone who was interested in me and my ex, to the point that he wanted to play with both of us. I continually told the person that he was underage and I would not play with him. Conversations continued through 2001 and until March 2001 when my ex and I actually met him. That was a mistake due to me being too passive. I refused to do anything with the person. It was getting late that day and I started to make some stupid decisions. One, I should have refused to let the person stay in the hotel room my ex and I were staying in. Two, after my ex insisted that he should stay with us, I should have refused, gone home by myself, and stayed in the hotel room. Sadly, I was too naive, yes, at 24, to do anything. I was in an unknown town and no idea how to get out of it. I found out later that during the times I was asleep, my ex had sex with the person, twice over the span of 3 months. I didn't know what happened until June 2001, when the county sheriff department visited my parents' house to arrest me. I didn't know what was going on. The sheriff started to list off all the charges, most of which I did not do at all. After going to the preliminary hearing, I was given a full list of over 10 charges. My ex had 15 charges against him. I admittedly pled not guilty to all of them, as did my ex. It was an excruciating 4 months, going back and forth between jail and the courthouse, trying to strike a deal with the district attorney to the one count I wasn't contesting. I sent a nude picture of myself to the person, which in legal terms was called sending harmful matter, which was not a registrable offense. Until this point, the case was a joint case. 2 defendants, my ex and myself. However, my lawyer advised me the DA gave my ex a similar plea bargain. He pled guilty to 1 charge, while the other charge was dropped. The DA had to ask the judge to make the case 2 separate cases now since my ex took the plea bargain, but I wasn't budging. The DA was unrelenting and refused multiple times from my lawyer to have me plead to sending harmful matter charges, as the DA wanted to get me on a charge that required me to register as a sex offender for life. The DA gave me 1 time limit to take their offer, or it would withdraw and it would be withdrawn and I would have to stand trial. It was very painful to tell my lawyer that I wanted to take the plea bargain. I pled no contest to the 1 charge that the DA wanted me to get charged with. I did not plead guilty, as I didn't do what I was pleading to. My plea was accepted by the court 2 months later in December 2001. I served at least over 2 out of the 3-year prison sentence. I was released April 2004 and was told the rules of my parole and my lifetime registration requirement. It was a very tough 3 years of parole, but I finished it successfully in April 2007. Since then, I have tried to get back into the furry community and show that I am not the monster what the registration site claims me to be. I have volunteered at conventions and helped people in any way possible. That's telling to see that the furry fandom has allowed this man to volunteer. Wonderful. Well done, furries. Bravo. Bravo! Let us continue. As you have seen on my WikiFur page, I have volunteered and worked a few conventions. I have served my time and tried to repay the debt to society. That resulted from my poor actions, or rather, my inactions. I want to show that I am a changed person who is still trying to be more assertive in his actions. Yes, I do get stopped by a stranger or someone who knows me at conventions and asks about my past. I am not afraid to tell them this story that I just told you. I admit that I have made some mistakes, such as trusting a stranger way too much with my personal information, or making sure the person who I am talking to via instant messenger is actually how old they say they are. But I have been way more assertive in my actions recently, except for what happened that caused me to be banned from Fur Affinity. The individual who eventually decided to rat me out and post his version of what happened in an instant message conversation skewed it to defame me, but I admit I was wrong trusting him. It actually gave me a wake-up call that I am being too trusting in person. It is up to me if you want to have me as a friend and trust me, or think of me as scum and not talk to me and avoid me like the plague. All I ask is that you be civil in your judgment, and please don't force this information on people who don't have good reason to know. Thank you for reading this statement. I'd like to state, for Tori Almighty or Growly the Growler, I did give him an opportunity to come forward and give any kind of clarification on this matter. He actually asked that I not read this off into this video. I don't think that's fair to cover up such a thing, since basically he was at a convention where no doubt I'm sure that there were people of all ages walking around, and I think the people were entitled to know. That's it. When I asked Growly about all this, he tried to make me aware of some financial case that seemed to have some level of involvement from the con. I will naturally include a link down below. If I've forgotten anything this week, holy fuck, I want to die. I don't have any news on snakething. There is a video with a recorded call with a bit of information on snakething. Link down below to the full video.
Levi Dane Simmons?
He was released.
Do you have a reason behind the release? Or is that classified?
That you'd have to talk with.
Naturally, updates are appreciated. Please consider sharing this or any of the videos that you found useful or informative around. I really, really think this is going to be it for a while. I think I'm all furried out. Till next time, a field burns, a plague spreads, all for no good reason. And I do have one more thing here. Here is proof that Dog Patch Press thinks fondly of Sanji Nightavus. Sanji, who is anti-fascist, who is a pedophile. I have made this accusation before about the far left, which Dog Patch Press is clearly on, tend to have certain compensities, certain leanings. And here's the whole thing, dog. If you'd screwed up beforehand and you'd covered Sanji before you knew any of this, all you would have to do is say, it's regretful that these things have come to light and I would like to apologize, but I didn't know. But you just sat there and you shut up. And that's the sort of behavior, once again, that wouldn't have been acceptable in my goddamn fandom, but seems to be A-OK in furry.